Rogues, issue 3, Joshua Williamson writing with Leo Max on art. I left this till last. I'm glad I did because it was bloody good and it was like, yes.
I was doubly fortunate because it turned out I hadn't read issue 2 yet. So I got to read issue 2 and 3 of this, and I'm like, oh.
I was like, oh, God, this is like 50 pages. Can I be arsed reading this? And it was refreshing that after a couple of pages, I was like, I'm just into this. I'm into this. I want to keep reading. I was so invested in what was going on.
Gangster Grodd is my new favorite thing.
Yes, Gangster Grodd, yes.
This is where I am baffled, for me personally, that I can despise Dark Crisis by Williamson. Yet at the same time, he can pull this out and just be like, no, this is incredible. Like, it's two different sides of that same writer. Like, it's baffling.
Yeah, you got Director Chase looking into the disappearance of Cold back in Central City, but obviously most of the stories in Gorilla City. We have Sam, the sort of PI ape that Cold got the info from in the first place, who has him in his custody. But it turns out he doesn't actually want to bring him in. He sort of figures out his plan, kind of pieces it together, asks a bunch of questions, but ultimately he's like, hey, you can't get into that vault. There's only one way in or out. I helped design it. However, I'll give you like the plans and I'll give you like how you could get in and out, but you have to kill Grodd. He wants rid of Grodd. So this is him kind of turning his back on Grodd, which was kind of teased last issue that he was frustrated with him. So, interesting, intriguing kind of spin on things. And then, of course, we get we see how many guards there are inside and out of the vault, so it really sets up the heist element of it. And, it sets up all this stuff. We also established that Grodd's got a wife and a kid, and he's not as much of a father as he wants to be because he's too busy with all the Gorilla City business.
Work.
Yeah. As we find out later, he's a complete drug lord, and it's all cocaine and heroin and stuff that he's
I love how this book just became this noir heist.
Yep.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
Yeah, well, and I love too that they're like, oh, it's not all the gold is why Gorilla City. It's the drug trade that goes throughout Gorilla City, and I just love that. And that's why Grodd's so powerful.
He's literally a king at this point.
Yeah, he is Kingpin. That's basically what it is. He's Gorilla Kingpin. So yeah, the rest of the rogues are waiting for Cold. They're not really sure what to do, but then Cold shows up, and lo and behold, he's got maps. He's got intel that he doesn't reveal where he got it from. So we get the big heist actually play out. We get them going in, taking out the guards, finding just shelves and stacks of gold bars. He gets Mirror Master to open up a portal to Mirror World where they just start shoveling the gold in. Well, it specifically uses Magenta, which
kills her.
Yeah.
He drives her so hard to do every single last gold bar that it kills her, and he's so unrepentative about it. He just doesn't care.
She knew the risks.
Yeah.
This really showed Cold for him being Cold, right?
Absolutely.
Like, up to this point, you're kind of like, oh, he's trying to redeem himself, but no, it is about this last score, and he doesn't care as long as he's the last one standing, right? That's all.
Cold always talks about like, it's a family, but yeah, I think I think it's he calls him out. It's like, hey, you say it's a family, but it's all about you.
Right.
This is, it's not about that. It's about him proving that he's still got this. He can pull off the greatest heist that's ever been seen. It's all this ego.
And that's what he's blinded by, right? Because he pushes Magenta to the board. Then he gets Mirror Master.
What's so funny about the way you described that is that I was already getting like Breaking Bad kind of flashbacks from all the gold bars. It was reminding me, do you know when like Huel in that, like lying the money in the vault? I was getting memories of that, and then the way you just described the ego thing, that's very Walter White. So I'm getting a lot of Breaking Bad from this.
It's very much kind of on those lines.
Which is funny because you wouldn't expect that from Gorilla City.
Right. No.
Yeah, no, on face value, I'm like, it's a heist in Gorilla City, whatever, but like, it's this noir Breaking Bad-esque thing. It's so good.
The fact though that they're the stuff that's guarding the vaults, right? It's all, all the security, and then the drones that are cybernetic gorillas, and all this, but just the mundanity of Gorilla City, that they are dressed just like regular people.
Yeah, it's like this 30s 40s take on a city. I love the balance there that they're doing, like Leo Max does in the art. My favorite is that shot of it outside the bank where it's just all the guards like cops kind of stood there with like the typical like police mustaches and stuff, and they're all like a little bit chubby.
2 days from retirement because then half of them die.
It's so good.
So Mirror Master has a standoff with Cold because he's not happy that he killed Magenta, and he closes the portal. So it's like, hey, if they don't have him to get to the gold, that's all like gone. It's just trapped in Mirror World basically. And then one of the the gorillas, I think it's like Grodd's like main henchman dude, I don't remember his name, comes in and just grabs his neck and crushes it. So Mirror Master's dead too. Like we're killing them off quickly here.
Yep.
So they have to fight their way out. They go running, and while this is all going on, one of them is it Heatwave that kidnaps the.
No, it's Trickster.
It's Trickster. Because he thinks, oh yeah, talking monkey, or talking ape, sorry. He
says monkey though. So
he does say monkey.
Shows how ignorant he is.
But he is like, oh, this will do great. Talking ape. That's I can put this in my show because as we learned in issue 1, he's a bit of a celebrity now. He does like variety shows, and it's like, oh, okay, that's his plan. And when they sneak into what turns out to be the distribution center, and they meet up with Sam the ape, he immediately says, "Do you know who that baby ape is?"
There's the big bit you kind of skipped over between those 2 points, where Lisa's like, "What the hell are you doing, kidnapping a baby?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ugh, it's just a stupid monkey." And then she slits his throat with her skates.
She will kicks his throat, and now Jesse's gone.
Which, to be fair, they set up in issue 1 that her job was she was helping orphans specifically, or at least it was like social services. So yeah, then that ballpark.
Abandoned kids.
Right, because she and her brother were abandoned by the dad, right?
So actually, it made sense in the moment. You're right. Yeah, I did gloss over that. Yeah,
but there's a huge moment where she kills one of the team.
Yeah. So Trickster's gone as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mirror Master, all on this heist. Mirror Master, Magenta, and now Trickster.
Sorry, Trickster. Yeah. The only way to kill them. Yeah. So they go in. Cold freezes a bunch of the guys. Like, oh, look at all these drugs. Like, we could do something with this. Bronze Tiger just starts laughing because he thinks they're screwed.
We're so boned.
Yeah. And when so he pulls out the baby ape, and then when Sam sees him, he's like, "Wait a minute! Do you know who that is? That's Grodd's kid. That's Grodd's baby." And we see him react to that as well. Grodd finds out. His wife comes in. They took our son. The end of the issue is Cold grabs the baby and says, "I know how we can get a payday. We negotiate." And he holds up the baby ape. And like, first of all, Golden Glider, given that she just killed Trickster for trying to use this baby, is going to have a problem with this. So this is so much of a bastard Captain Cold. That's what this book is. Captain Cold is a bastard.
I went from being like, oh man, I hope he can do this because he's really struggling for relevancy, and he is Captain Cold. He deserves it. To like, oh no, dude, Grodd's got to crush him
again on the Breaking Bad thing. You want Walt to pull it off. Go on, you do it. And by the end, you're like, yeah, you should probably be stopped.
Yeah.
This was his I'm the one who knocks moment when he decides we're gonna hold a baby gorilla hostage.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely loving this book, and we've obviously brushed on the art, but something that I think is
that's phenomenal.
Under talked about is the lettering. The lettering in this book is some of the best I've ever seen.
When Bronze Tiger starts laughing and it's all huge, like it's taking up the space in the panels. Such a good use of
the use of just the shape of the bubbles that's used, and then the varying sizes of the words in them.
It's also a testament to the writing, of course, but the flow of the art. That this is a 50-page book that I did not like. Sometimes you read the 50-page book when you're used to reading the 20-pagers, and it feels like a bit of a slog because you're used to a certain length, and it feels so much bigger. This flowed so well. I got through it without feeling any pacing or timing I never felt the length at all. It just flew in, and I got to the end, and I loved it. So much of it was methodically just going through the heist, and it almost feels like, oh, if you're going through something methodically, shouldn't it feel slow? But no, it feels like captivating because you're every part of the heist or the action that's going on. I understand the context. Every single page in this, there was a context of who was doing something and part of the plan. You understood to some extent why they were doing it because, okay, clearly you're taking out these guards here so that the next person can go in and use the mirror gun there and get, everything flowed to the next action. And it always felt like I could the plan. Not that I knew what the plan was in advance, but I was seeing it unfold, and it all worked as it was unfolding. So it was really enjoyable to actually read through.
It was just Absolutely fantastic book.
This is the last thing I read before bed last night, and it felt very good.
I also left it till last because I read issue 2. I was like, oh, issue 2 was good, and then I came back and read all the other issues, and then I was like, I'm really glad I left. I was banking on it, being as good, if not better than the second issue. For the record, I actually think it's better than the second issue. But I was banking on having that at the end to get to, and I'm so glad. The
moment that the pacing really worked for me was when they get there and it's established that there's no back door to this bank, right? Because Sam and Gorilla Grimm designed it, and then Gorilla Grimm shows up and it's like, well, we'll just send him in through the back door. And he's like, well, no, the bank doesn't have one. He goes, you think that I didn't update this thing? Come on. And just the whole thing that Sam, it's what you don't account for.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it leads
to. All that went to shit.
Yeah, that's essentially what leads to Mirror Master's death. That's why the other gorilla goes up and snaps his neck.
Just the look on Sam's face of like, oh no, I messed up big time.
Yeah.
It's so, again, it feels like a quality heist movie. Now everything is completely gone to shreds. And how are we going to get out? Now it becomes a negotiation, which I was not expecting whatsoever. When they introduced God's wife and kid, I was just like, oh, they're going to do like a Godfather. Don't talk to me about my business.
Which was definitely part of it.
Yeah, but it served another purpose, and we know how much Grodd might be a bastard, but he cares about his kid.
And I would go as far as to say he cares about Gorilla City. It showed initiative. There's definitely inequality. There's poverty as well, but also on the whole, it's a very rich city, right? Comparatively to where it was before Grodd.
Yeah. So, excellent. These Black Label books mostly have been killing it, to be honest. Like, there's very few that have not. But I mean,
this is up there with the best of them.
Rogues, that's your theme, Matt. What are you rating it?
This was a 8.5.
Connor?
I'm going with 9.5.
I'm going to split the difference and call it a straight 9. So, there you go.